It's one thing to discover someone's tampering with your property, but it's an entirely different beast when that someone is the president of your homeowners association, wielding power like a personal scepter. Yeah, this woman was renting out my mountain cabin for $300 a night without so much as a whisper to me. She transformed my sanctuary into her secret money-making machine, all while strutting around like she owned the deed. And when I finally confronted her, she never saw it coming. Let me tell you, the look on her face was priceless. Stick around, because this tale gets twisted. After grinding away for 15 years in those suffocating Seattle studios, inhaling secondhand vape clouds, and battling landlords who viewed artists as vermin, I finally scraped together enough cash to break free. The cabin wasn't sprawling, but it had all I needed: a solid workspace for my gear, a vista that swapped urban grit for pine-scented peaks, and above all, solitude. For the first time in ages, I could hear my own thoughts without the constant hum of city chaos. I'm not sure why I believed the tranquility would endure, but those initial days felt like striking gold. The unpacked boxes still cluttered my den when I sensed I'd stumbled onto something profound, something I'd been chasing without realizing it. The delivery van had just vanished down the winding dirt path when she materialized. I was lounging on my fresh-built porch, mug of black coffee in hand, gazing at the sun glinting off the distant Rocky Mountains in Colorado, when this lady popped up at my doorstep with a grin that instantly knotted my gut. You know, the kind of smile that screams, "I'm about to wreck your vibe, but I'll do it with charm." She had impeccably coiffed auburn hair, a notepad pressed to her chest like a shield of suburbia, and the quintessential HOA uniform: beige slacks, a crisp blue blouse, and loafers that screamed, "I've never hiked a trail." Something about her set my nerves on edge right away. "Hello there, I'm Victoria, HOA president," she chirped. "Welcome to our serene haven." She thrust out her hand with the zeal of a timeshare hawker, and I shook it because, well, what else do you do in that moment? I assumed it was routine, neighborly courtesy. Maybe she'd drop off a pie or tips on the best local breweries. In hindsight, I should have caught the way her eyes darted past me, surveying my interior like she was appraising an estate sale. But I was still basking in the glow of my new digs, so I invited her in for a cup of joe. Worst decision ever. We'll circle back to that. At first, she came across as pleasant, which just highlights how clueless I was about the storm brewing. The chat kicked off innocently, where I hailed from, my impressions of the area, the usual icebreakers. "The cabin's stunning," she gushed. "Prime investment spot." That phrasing struck me as odd, but I brushed it off. Then she probed about my job, and I mentioned I was a tattoo artist rigging up a home studio. Her face shifted in a heartbeat. Her smile froze into something artificial, her gaze turning icy as she sized me up like I'd confessed to running a chop shop. "Oh," she drawled, the word dripping with disdain. "Tattoo artist. Well, I trust you realize we uphold specific standards here." The emphasis on standards wasn't about yard work, it was laced with judgment. My grip tightened on my mug as I braced for the inevitable prejudice: the folks who eyed my ink and saw rebellion rather than craftsmanship, who pegged me as trouble because I wielded needles and pigment. "What standards exactly?" I pressed, keeping my tone even. "Are we discussing me or my craft? Because both are entirely legitimate." She chuckled, but it rang hollow. "I'm certain you're skilled, Alex. It's merely that this community preserves a particular ethos, and we strive to safeguard it." She flipped open her notepad, consulting it like holy writ. "Regulations cover noise, upkeep, and naturally, commercial endeavors." The implication was clear. I hadn't cleared it with the HOA, and that spelled trouble. My newfound calm evaporated like mist in the mountain air. This lady was poised to morph my retreat into a regulatory hellscape. That's when the onslaught began. Lawns must be trimmed by weekly, no leniency. Quiet hours strictly observed after 9 p.m., encompassing any tools or devices. No business ops during restricted times, which spanned from dawn till dusk. She recited edict after edict like a drill sergeant, and with each one, it dawned on me. I'd not just purchased a cabin, I'd enlisted in a skirmish with a woman who viewed me as an invader in her flawless domain. Did she honestly think I'd converted into a rowdy lodge? The absurdity teetered between hilarious and infuriating. But what truly rattled me surfaced mere days later. A note affixed to my door in Victoria's precise script. Vehicle improperly stationed $2.50 penalty. I gawked at the slip, baffled. My SUV sat in my driveway, unchanged since move-in. I inspected it from all sides, nothing obstructed, no leaks, not even grime. Yet, per some arcane clause in the HOA tome, this constituted a breach. Who obsesses over such minutiae? Only someone hunting for conflict. As Victoria departed that inaugural visit, she lingered at the threshold, flashing that synthetic grin. "I'll be monitoring things, Alex," she murmured, the words slithering like a veiled menace. "We all will." It wasn't a greeting, it was a gauntlet thrown. I observed her retreat, notepad underarm like a dagger, my stomach churning. The quiet I'd invested in now felt eerie, a prelude to turmoil. The peaks that had seemed majestic hours prior now loomed foreboding, concealing perils I wasn't equipped to face. As she hit her car's end, I spotted her fingers trembling faintly while fumbling keys. Had I wandered into a battlefield, or had she been primed for combat from the outset? My knee-jerk to that parking citation was dismissal, a glitch, or newbie ritual. But dialing the listed number, Victoria's saccharine tone explained that unfamiliarity with rules excused nothing. She'd gladly dispatch the full 52-page manifesto. 52 pages for a hamlet of perhaps 25 cabins? I pleaded for a pass this once, citing my novice status. Her denial carried a glee that unnerved me. The ensuing week delivered fresh outrage. Returning from supply runs, another missive awaited in my mailbox. Lawn elevation infraction $200. My grass appeared fine, but ruler in hand, I measured, for inches. The cap was 3.5. Half an inch warranted a near $200 hit. I stood amid my yard, sanity slipping. Was this existence? Feuding over foliage fractions? I pondered if she harbored some fixation on metrics. The pinnacle struck the next Wednesday. In my studio at 8 p.m., sketching for a patron, footsteps echoed on my veranda. Peering out, Victoria prowled with what resembled a sound gauge. Half an hour later, another decree. Auditory disruption $350. It alleged machinery racket during hush periods, impeding neighbors' serenity. My tattoo gun hummed softer than a blender. She equated it to industrial clamor. I slumped, staring at the paper, disbelief mounting. That's when I first noted Walter. He dwelled across the ridge, this grizzled veteran who idled on his stoop, surveying the enclave like his private spectacle. Initially, I pegged him as another snoop, perhaps Victoria's cohort spying on me. But his gaze differed while she patrolled with gadgets and logs. He'd shake his head, not in censure of me, but as if witnessing a rerun farce. His keen eyes missed nothing, and I sensed he grasped more than he divulged. The torment intensified post-haste. Victoria's infractions grew inventive. My yard lantern deemed unsanctioned ornamentation. The bird feeder surpassed acoustic limits for accents. Even my welcome rug flouted dimensions. Each bore escalating fees, as if she tallied commissions. The farce bordered on unbelievable, yet the bills piled, draining my reserves swiftly. Tensions peaked at the HOA's urgent assembly on revised protocols. I attended, hoping to bond with peers and rally support against Victoria's crusade. The venue was a neighbor's shed, outfitted with metal seats and a makeshift podium. Roughly 18 souls appeared, most exuding reluctance. Victoria commanded the four with a flip chart and her trusty pad, poised to tackle alarming shifts in communal harmony. I should have anticipated it centered on me, but optimism lingered. She avoided my name, yet her barbs hit home. "We must address inhabitants who may not grasp our ethos," she intoned, shooting me a pointed stare. Her timbre deepened, deliberate. "This enclave thrives on our mandates: you adapt or depart." She advocated barring enterprises from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., crippling my studio's viable slots. Eyes bored into me. I stood accused of mere presence in Victoria's utopia. This transcended noise or valuations. It was vendetta, the HOA her arsenal. The sting deepened as neighbors bobbed in assent. Folks I'd envisioned as barbecue buddies let her bulldoze unchallenged. I yearned to rise, proclaim my decency, my quest for quiet toil. My gear quieter than their lawnmowers? It echoed feeble inwardly, more so aloud. So I endured, witnessing Victoria's smirk as she dismantled my standing with strangers. Post-meeting, en route to my rig, Walter materialized beside me in the lot. Stealthy for his years, his arrival jolted me. "Kid," he rasped, voice gravelly from decades of pipes and bourbon. "That lady's not as she appears. Used to flip properties down in Nevada. Damn good at it, too," from the whispers. Before I could probe, he faded into dusk like a spectral guardian. His cryptic hint haunted my drive home, pondering his intent. But arriving, fresh skid marks in my gravel knot mind chilled me. Was Victoria scheming grander than I fathomed, or merely desperate to oust me, mobilizing the whole hamlet? Walter's tip on Victoria's Nevada realty passed gnawed at me for days. I observed her warily, decoding, not as she appears. Her zeal in tormenting me exceeded idle control freakery. Deeper motives lurked. Thus, I countered surveillance with my own. I snagged covert cams masquerading as trail lights and devoted a weekend to placement. If games were afoot, I'd chronicle her every ploy. Retrospectively, this proved my shrewdest move. The gadgets were slick daytime, they mimicked outdoor fixtures, but captured HD feeds uploaded to the cloud. I sighted them cunningly: driveway, entry, trail to the overlook. If Victoria persisted in snooping with tools and tallies, I possess proof. Week 1 yielded the anticipated: her erratic patrols, bin inspections, cryptic jottings. Textbook HOA tyrant antics. Nothing shocking. Then week 2 veered bizarre. Reviewing prior day's clips, Victoria neared my door, clutching keys. She scanned for witnesses, then unlocked and sauntered in like proprietress. I rewound thrice, incredulous. How'd she duplicate my keys? What schemed inside? Subsequent footage iced my veins. 25 minutes later, a duo arrived, polished 30-somethings with a lens. Victoria admitted them. For an hour, they roamed my abode, snapping pics. Not officials or fixers, they toured evaluatively, admiring layouts, lingering in the galley and by panoramic windows. The gal even piqued my fridge, odd unless envisioning residency. Parked at the depot lot, viewing on mobile, my palms quaked. These weren't randos, they appraised like prospects. The chap photographed the lounge exhaustively. She gauged apertures, noted designs. They dallied on the veranda, gesturing ridgeside, debating inaudibly. Exiting, Victoria tendered docs. It reeked of a viewing for lessees or purchasers. Yet more. Post-departure, Victoria re-entered, depositing fresh citations on my counter. "Non-compliance," she muttered to vacancy, smirking as if practicing. Then she lingered another half hour, tidying, wiping counters, aligning seats, plumping pillows, prepping for next callers. She navigated my space with eerie familiarity, implying repetition. Most unsettling, her ease, unworried by intrusion. She even misted a fern by the Scylla quirky touch that nearly elicited mirth. Nearly. Reality dawned. She wasn't mere harasser. She commodified my haven, and I'd been oblivious. I felt breached profoundly. That eve, I scoured archives for prior trespasses. Discoveries nauseated. Victoria invaded bi-weekly for 2 months. Solo or with guests, always absent me, hourly stints, methodical. She'd mastered my patterns, errands, sessions, ridge jogs. Studied me like prey, exploiting absences. Overwhelming evidence, yet comprehension lacked. Illegal leasing? Those visitors' tenants? Lunacy, but alternatives nil. Deeper delving demanded. Walter's Nevada clue prompted online sleuthing. Her dated LinkedIn surfaced, crystallizing all. Scrolling history, veteran agent, Reno, Nevada. Decade in upscale retreats, holiday lets, capital ventures. Specialized in Ridgeview cabins like mine. Accolades lauded her gem spotting, income maximizing prowess. She'd monetized abodes pre-relocation. Her fixation clarified not ethos, but exploitation. LinkedIn merely scratched. Hours burrowed, scoured lease sites Airbnb, VRBO, niches obscure. Zilch initially, paranoia crept, perhaps innocence. Last platform detonated. Header mirrored my lounge shot, texted pals post-move. Breathtaking mountain escape, listed $300 per night. Host, Victoria S. 32 reservations, 4.8 rating, perpetual availability. I gaped, rereading till blurred. She'd leased my dwelling where I resided, Criateto aliens for 4 months. profiting whilst finding me phantoms. Images, my furnishings, galley vista. Even studio pitched as artistic nook for inspiration. Critiques gutted. Superb host Victoria's so attentive, exceeded hype. Ridge locale divine, fully equipped retreat. One extolled cleanliness, another studio's genuine flair. Strangers slumbered my bed, raided cabinets, rifled effects crediting her ownership. Nausea surged. Math. 32 bookings at $300 $600 bare minimum, likely more with extended, peak tariffs. She'd out-earned my inking stint. Criminal genius veiled in slacks and smiles. I'd spun yarns like this before, never envisioning victimhood. Cops or vengeance. Fury tilted ladder. What sealed it? A critique hailed Victoria's locale tips packets with trails, eatery deals. Not mere theft, full-service op, concierge flair. Staggering orchestration. I captured all. Reviews, shots, specs multi-device, clouded. Plan brewed. She'd host. I'd guessed, nabbing her flagranti. Fake alias. Jordan Hayes, tech exec from Portland. Fabricated bio, stock avatar. Booked weekend at my cabin, forking $300 nightly for my sheets. Irony bittered, but court-proof needed. On-cam capture, witnesses ideal. Justice trumped reimbursement. Finalizing, her reply froze me. Enthused hosting, but hinted deeper peril. Her ping hit 15 minutes post-confirm. Jordan, ecstatic to host you at this majestic ridge haven. Gush and emojis irked. She effused over my abode, billing me occupancy. Audacity or shamelessness. Included packet, diner pics, trek charts like legit innkeep, not fraudster. Opted imminent weekend, 3 nights prepaid. Irony of funding her for my bed nearly broke me, but docs paramount. Researched fraud attorneys, this courted. Hotline consult. Unauthorized lease equals fraud, service theft. Triple damages viable threefold illicit gains. $9,600 x 3 equals $28,800 plus fees. Her hustle turning costly. Lawyer stressed. Keyless entry? Burglary. Business guys worsens. Document exhaustive. Shun vigilante vibes. I vowed legality mostly. Craved irrefutable snare. No misread outs. As Jordan, Victoria messaged chummily. Thrilled for Friday 7 p.m. Araval you'll adore it. Attached rules, sites. Rules ironic. Respect premises, no indoor smoke. Tidy, quiet post, 11. Stricter than my owner edicts. Delusion reigned. Edge pusher, she griped owner. Confidentially, owner's a hassle constantly noisy with crafts, clueless on guest upkeep. But I perfected pre-arrival. Trash talking me to me, charging my stay. Deception depths astounded. Tested. Victoria, owner aware of rentals? Hate neighbor drama. Swift retort. Haha, fret not, dear. He's absent, oblivious. Ignorance bliss. Winky. Screenshot tripled. Written confession, sans consent. Prepped, Operation Phantom guest. Charged recorders, cloud redundancy. Lawyer alert. Plan, arrive punctual, let routine unfold, then unmask post-deep dig. Trap self-set. Thursday Eve's finale. Awaiting tomorrow 7 p.m. You'll cherish this escape. I'll ensure flawlessness. Rest well. But appended. Owner eyeing relocation, keen on buy. Sheet broker. Not mere lease, selling my cabin covertly. Friday loomed. Lesson day or danger reveal. Friday 6:45 p.m. I staked a quarter-mile off, binoculars fixed as Victoria rolled up with host kit. Linens, goodie basket of nibbles and pamphlets, blooms for counter. She keyed in illicitly, vanishing. Next 15 minutes, she preened my space like resort chief fluffed seats, fanned periodicals, ignited aroma wick. My home her enterprise, executed masterfully. At 7 sharp, I hauled luggage, approached my door vacation style. Pulse raced, facade affable. Knocking, Victoria beamed widest. Jordan. Welcome, Irie spot on. Bouncy delight, ushering me into my domain like grand reveal. Her act bordered admirably, not my turf. She toured full throttle, master suite with epic ridge gaze. Galley stocked utterly. Studios got quirky tools for creativity. I trailed, nodding as she narrated my belongings like landmarks. Surreal dissociation, paying for my home tour? Veranda overlook, she pivoted agent, Spots ideal for unwind, muse, gesturing peaks. Values soaring, ridge cabins scarce. $300 per night steal most demand $500. Tongue-bitten laughter, pitching my assets value to me. Evidence time. Phone out, recording veiled as Vista snaps. Owner details. Casual query. Expression turned shrewd, cooler. Current owners cash-strapped, faux pity. Likely sell soon why I flagged you. Confidentially, you'd fit ideally. Escalated. Not leasing. Engineering my exit for profit. Kept taping as she pitched. Guy misses potential idol when income goldmine. His setback, your boon. I link buyers, perhaps under market timed right. Nodded interest, inwardly raging at her lounge critique of my failure. Future bookings query. Card proffered gravely. Manage area spots, always suit. But this? Short-lived. Owners developer pressured. Tough calls ahead. Conspiratorial lean. Serious? Act swift on offer I handle, best terms. Not theft, orchestrating ruin. Then Walter emerged. Not mere observer. Ascended path with hefty envelope. Face stern, irate. Alex lad, he hailed deckside. Need this now. Victoria paled at my true name. Panic comedic amid fury. Walter was an ally, investigator. Unfurled folder. Pics, papers, logs. Tracked months, kid. Not yours alone Lopez Lodge, Miller Retreat, Thompson's went away. Next froze me, pre-post listings for my cabin, Victoria agent. Not ousting via torment, leases, prepping my sale profit, consent be damned. Watching Victoria stammer excuses, I pondered, schemes end or deeper conspiracy. Cops materialized in 8 minutes. Victoria's driveway cuffing topped life's peaks. Officers efficient. Frank's dossier plus my vid of admission sealed it. No petty slaps fraud felonies. Ma'am, arrested for property misuse, fraud, realty conspiracy, burglary, lead declared. Rights read. Her incredulity palpabella plans spectacular crumble unfathomable. Arrest sparked avalanche. 48 hours, probe ballooned. Walter's proof. Victoria's syndicate spanned enclave. For cabins sans consent. Mrs. Lopez wept learning utility spikes. Stranger raves on her lodge. Now get those developer pests Victoria leased months. Pressuring cheap sell. Legal whirlwind swift. My fraud ace attorney eyed evidence hungrily. Dream prosecution she self-logged. Vid confessed. Enterprise multi-property. Market rig. Week-in. $15,000 illicit from 6 months. Value depressing for developer buys. Charges grave. DA pegged 5 years max system fraud. Entry breach. Conspiracy. Unlicensed biz. Targeted community. Developer collusion market tampering. Her standards. Preacher now felon victimizer. Irony I broadcast to inquiring press. HOA crisis meet ousted Victoria. Walter president unanimous. First. Null all her decrees. Refund interest boosted. I reclaimed $2,500 bogus hits. Board apology for unchecked manipulation. Enclave morphed. Shunners turned apologizers with pies. Tales of Victoria's dodgy dealings. Mrs. Sanchez toted enchiladas. Confessed finance probes. Sell pressures. Miller's. Anniversary spot push sold pre-dash crash. My inking surged media-fueled. Clients trekked states. Defeater of HOA tyrant legend. Hired aid for bookings. 6 months on. Porch coffee. Foreclosure placard at Victoria's across ridge. Walter strolled, noted deputies. Heard she's stocking shelves now, settling chairside. Restitution, fees from jail gigs doubles on release weekends. Coffee sip, sun on peaks. Walter puffed pipe. Karma accrues compound, especially with Fed wire fraud on developer ties. Strange, control queen stripped bare. Walter broke reverie. Thought untouchable, power vaporized. Laughed agreement, sure. Sometimes needs mortal nudge unafraid. Silent companionship, ridge peace restored. Victoria 3 years federal, restitution grinding. Laundry duty for debt shave, good conduct. Irony, her toil, my thrive she sought ruin. Query regrets? Pushed hard, her total loss? Nay. Chances squandered escalated harassment to fraud to enterprise threatening Hamlet finances. Victimized neighbors, profited while rigging values. Some merit mercy, she reaped sown. Lesson stark. Underestimate not self-defense when righteous. System shields if bold, persistent. Worst, such rely on our hush fear, fatigue. But challenge, expose they falter. Powerless feel versus authority? Recall, fight power innate, odds be damned. Beyond dispute, rights defend worthy. Up against whom? Stand not win alone, consequence signal. Truths might prevails, end. What would you do if someone turned your home into their secret Emperego nuclear with revenge, or play it safe with the law? Was I too harsh in pushing for full prosecution, or did she deserve every bit of the fallout? Should HOAs have this much power over people's lives, or is it time to dismantle them? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one. If this story got your blood pumping, smash that like button and subscribe for more wild tales that might just hit close to home. What if this happened to you next?